The Arizona Wildcats beat the Cal Bears. Final score: Arizona Wildcats 73 to the Cal Bears 51. The first time that the Arizona Wildcats beat the Cal Bears this season was in California. So it was their home. It was a home game for the Cal Bears, and they lost that game. It was they the final score was Arizona 73 to the Cal Bears 50. So that game was so the Arizona Wildcats beat the Cal Bears by 23 that time, but today they beat them by 22. This is it's a little bit different for the Arizona Wildcats as the season goes on because hardly anybody was ranked in the Pac-12 except for Utah, and so everybody's looking for that. Um, uh, every team in the Pac-12 is looking for that big win, that that very good win that can help them as far as maybe hopefully getting into the postseason and playing in the postseason, and so um, that way they get quite a few more games in, and it's just fun. It's fun to have more games and fun to be able to play more games, and the tournament, the Big Dance tournament, it's very exciting, and that's lots of fun. I guess for the players, they have a really good time, and that's why they want to play. Even they also want to play in that tournament also after the postseason. So anyway, the players, Cal, for example, here plays played really hard against us, um, and during the season, and was really hoping that they could upset us, especially at home because you got the fan base and you have a lot of things in your favor. Um, you get some of the calls in your favor, some of the referee calls in your favor, so everything is kind of going in your favor. But um, and you're at home and you just feel more comfortable and things like that. But the Cal Bears just couldn't do it that time, and they ended up losing by 23 that time. But um, so then the Cal Bears came here, and then they lost by 39 points. It was a pretty. Uh, it wasn't good for Cal Bears at all to lose by that amount. But then this game right here, this is even more significant for the Cal Bears because not only is it is it a marquee. It would be a marquee win because you could beat one of your rivals, one of your conference rivals. But another thing that makes it even stronger is that if they beat this team, then they can keep on playing. So it was like if they don't win this game, there's almost a desperation uh, at the end of the season. There's give it one more try, just to play as hard as you can, and that's what the Cal Bears did seem to do this time. Whenever they played this final time, whenever they played against the Arizona Wildcats this season, was they left it all out on the court, and they played with their hearts out, and they they out rebounded actually the Arizona Wildcats. The final they had 30. Oh, they didn't out rebound, but they were close to out rebounding the Arizona Wildcats. They had 36 rebounds, while the Arizona Wildcats had 37 rebounds. But still, it was very close. Um, and I think another thing that shows a great effort on the Cal Bears side was that they had uh, 9 offensive rebounds as compared to the Arizona Wildcats that had only 5 offensive rebounds. Now the Arizona Wildcats won this game by 22 points, um, but the Cal Bears had a higher amount of offensive rebounds, had almost twice the amount of offensive rebounds as the Arizona Wildcats did. They had 9 offensive rebounds, while the Arizona Wildcats had 5 offensive rebounds. Another thing was the assists. Was the total amount of assists tonight. The Arizona Wildcats had 11 assists uh, compared to the Cal Bears, which had 9 assists. And I was looking at the history of some of the games that the Arizona Wildcats have lost. Um, they were all tied. They were all very low scoring assists, or that low amount of assist games. Um, I think they were tied as far as the amount of assists, uh, like 8 assists, or um, maybe 11 assists. One time whenever they played whenever the Arizona Wildcats played UNLV, then they had 17 assists compared to the UNLV running Rebels, which had 11 assists, and that was a kind of unusual game. But the thing that threw it through the win in UNLV's favor was because UNLV had so many of those offensive. They had so many offensive rebounds. I think that they totally out rebounded Arizona, the Arizona Wildcats by I think 10 or 15 rebounds or something. It was just a huge difference as far as rebounds. And what do you know? UNLV also uh, they had more offensive rebounds than the Arizona Wildcats did, and that one, I think, twice the amount of offensive rebounds or something like that also. So, if you get those two together as far as with offensive rebounds, and if you also have strength with us in the amount of assists, I really think that having an assist, having the amount of assists probably equaling to, I would say, 15, around 15 assists. I think that's a really good game because that's showing that you have a lot of team effort. And I mean, it's not necessarily showing a lot that you have a lot of team effort, but uh, it's hard for one person to get 15 offensive rebounds or to get close to 15 offensive rebounds. One player, usually the point guard, gets that many, gets most of the assists. But if you can spread those assists around, and I think that's one of the reasons why we ended up losing to ASU, why the Arizona Wildcats lost to ASU one time this season, was because the assists were passed around a little bit by two different players, and not only by one player. And that I mean, we had T.J. McConnell, which had like 7 assists or something, with 6 assists, and which was very good. But we were kind of relying only on one guy to hand out those assists, and so the ASU Sun Devils had two guys with handing out assists, and so they had more of an advantage, and so that's why they ended up winning that game. They only won it by 2 points, but still, they did win that game, and they rushed the court, of course. But anyway, what I was going to say is that the amount of assists, if you can distribute some of those assists around to maybe to maybe a little bit different players, then it would really help. And if you can get assists from Stanley Johnson, then I think that would be something that would be extremely helpful. I mean, you get assists from uh, uh, let's see, it's from Jackson, uh, from Parker, Jackson-Cartwright, or yeah, Parker, PJC. If you get assists from him, that backfoot point guard, then you got a good strength uh, that the Arizona Wildcats have. Is you don't necessarily rely on one specific person to get all those assists. And Gabe York, if you can get an assist from him, then even that's great also. Um, but anyway, so I think that the assists are, if you can distribute those assists around as a team and play more of a team effort, because there was something wrong with the Arizona Wildcats today. And even though they won by 22 points, which is a ridiculous amount, but then at the same time, then it was a battle for most of the game, and then right in the game, then right at the end of the game, then that's kind of when things kind of went into the dumps for the Cal Bears, and that's whenever the Arizona Wildcats just took over and scored a ton of points, and because I think the Arizona Wildcats only had a lead for, I would say probably had a lead of maybe 6, 5 or 6 or 7 for most of the game, but then it was almost 3/4 of the game was done where they had a lead of 5 or 6 or 7 sometimes, but then on that last fourth of the game.
Didn't know if I was going to be able to do these exercises because with the weight, what it was, because I haven't been working out my right arm a whole lot, my biceps or my triceps, my right arm too much the past few months because I had a PICC line in there for my to get my antibiotics in my right arm. Uh, I don't know if you can see the scars the, or not, but anyway, so I had that in for about 3 months, but I was able to do these press exercises, these bench press exercises, although I had to use my shoulder blades, kind of pop my chest out a little bit whenever I was doing these press exercises because um, the shoulder blades, I use that to kind of grab the bench behind me a little bit, just to kind of hold on to it, just so that I wouldn't fall over to the side, to the left or to the right from the bench whenever I was pushing the weight up. Uh, it, so it was not only a workout of my arms, but it was also a workout a little bit of my ab muscles. Um, and and a workout of my balance. And whenever you work out other things other than the muscles that you want to be working on, then it tends to take your breath quicker. So you need to spend more time focusing on your breathing techniques and be more, and go slowly at it and do the repetition slowly so that you can um, get good breaths and just focus on trying to relax while you're exercising, because otherwise if you try and go too fast, then you're not going to get all the reps in that you desire. I wasn't able to get in all the reps that I wanted whenever I was doing this exercise, but I was able to get in most of the reps. But like I said, that weight was just so heavy, and on top of that, then trying to maintain my balance while not falling off the bench it was just so much of a workout. I actually worked up quite a bit of a sweat right there at the end.